This is the Tesla Cybertruck, and whether you think it looks like the future or something completely out of place, there's one thing you can't ignore. It doesn't just sit in the room, it dominates it. But here's the real question. Did Tesla actually build a better pickup truck? Or did they simply build the most talked about pickup truck of the decade? Because underneath this radical design, there's a lot more going on than meets the eye. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly where the Cybertruck succeeds, and where it starts to make some serious compromises. Because Tesla didn't take the traditional pickup and simply make it electric. They didn't copy the formula, they reinvented it. There's no familiar grille, no conventional body lines, no attempt to make this truck blend into the crowd. From the moment you see it, look closely at the Cybertruck, and you'll notice something unusual. Almost every line has a purpose. The hood, the windshield, the roof, even the doors. Everything follows one geometric design language. There are almost no traditional curves here, and that's exactly why the Cybertruck looks so different from everything. And then there's the material itself. Tesla uses an ultra-hard stainless steel exoskeleton instead of a conventional painted body. That raw metallic surface is one of the biggest reasons this truck looks so futuristic. It doesn't look like it was painted to become different. It looks like the metal itself is the design. Now, let's move to the front. This might be the clearest example of Tesla throwing away the traditional pickup formula. There's no massive grille, no giant air intake, just a clean, almost completely sealed front faceshift, and one unmistakable light signature. And this light bar isn't just about making the Cybertruck look futuristic. Tesla currently lists an available light bar capable of illuminating the road up to 525 yards ahead. That's more than 5 football fields. So one of the Cybertruck's most dramatic design elements also has a very practical purpose. Then there's the glass. Tesla calls it armor glass. The company designed it with impact resistance in mind, while also using acoustic glass to help reduce outside noise. And that fits perfectly with the Cybertruck philosophy. Even the glass is supposed to feel tougher and more engineered than what you normally expect from a pickup. Then we get to the wheels. Depending on configuration, Tesla offers 20-inch wheels with different tire options, including all-terrain rubber. And that matters because the Cybertruck isn't supposed to be just a pavement machine. Tesla wants this thing to be capable when the road disappears. Underneath the Cybertruck, things get even more interesting. It uses electronically adaptive air suspension. That means the truck can raise or lower itself depending on the driving situation. And in its highest off-road setting, Tesla lists up to 16 inches of ground clearance. For a truck this large, that's serious capability. Because this is an electric truck, there's no traditional engine taking up the space underneath the hood. That gives Tesla something conventional pickups don't have: a front trunk. And on applicable configurations, Tesla lists about 7.1 cubic feet of front storage. It's extra space, without making the truck any longer. But the real test of any pickup happens back here: the cargo bed. The Cybertruck gives you roughly a 6 by 4 foot bed, and Tesla says it can accommodate 4 by 8 foot construction material. So despite all the futuristic styling, this truck is still built to do truck things. Then there's the powered vault cover. Press a button, and the bed can be enclosed. That means your cargo can stay hidden and protected from the elements. Open it again, and you have the full pickup bed back. Tesla also found a way to use the space underneath the bed. On applicable versions, there's an additional lower storage compartment. It's a small detail, but these are exactly the details that can make a truck more useful in everyday life. And now we get into the numbers that actually matter for a pickup. Depending on configuration, Tesla currently lists maximum payload capacity as high as 2,500 pounds. That's roughly 1,134 kilograms. So this isn't just a futuristic-looking truck. It can carry serious weight. And then there's towing. Tesla currently rates applicable Cybertruck configurations for up to 11,000 pounds of maximum towing capacity. That's nearly 5 metric tons. For an electric pickup, that's a serious number. But there's an important catch. Towing changes the range equation. Tesla itself warns that towing can significantly reduce range, and that means the Cybertruck's advertised range should never be confused with its real-world range while pulling a heavy trailer across the country. If towing is your main reason for buying this truck, charging strategy becomes extremely important. Now, let's step inside. Because if the exterior is radical, the cabin takes that same philosophy and pushes it even further. Inside, Tesla has gone with an extremely minimalist design. There aren't rows of traditional buttons everywhere. Instead, the cabin is built around screens, software, and a very clean layout. It feels more like a high-tech lounge than a conventional American pickup. At the center is an 8.5-inch touchscreen. This is basically the command center for the truck. Navigation, vehicle controls, entertainment, settings. A huge part of the Cybertruck experience happens right here. And Tesla didn't forget about the passengers. There's a 9.4-inch touchscreen for the rear seats, so passengers get their own dedicated digital experience, instead of relying entirely on the front display. One of the most interesting technologies underneath all of this is steer-by-wire. Instead of relying on a conventional mechanical steering connection, the Cybertruck uses electronic steering control. It's a major departure from the traditional pickup truck formula. And then there's rear-wheel steering. For a truck this large, that matters. The rear wheels can help the Cybertruck turn more tightly, so although the truck is enormous, it can feel considerably more maneuverable than its size suggests. The Cybertruck is designed to seat 5 adults, and because this is a full-size pickup, the cabin has the space to actually feel like a family vehicle. The rear seats aren't just there for occasional passengers. They're a real part of the truck's design, and when you need more cargo space, the rear seating area can be folded. On applicable versions, Tesla lists more than 120 cubic feet of total storage volume in the 2-occupant configuration. So underneath that radical exterior, there's a surprisingly practical truck. Of course, there's one question every EV truck buyer eventually asks. How fast can it charge? Tesla currently lists up to 325 kilowatts of supercharging capability for the Cybertruck, and the company says the truck can recover a significant amount of range during a short charging session. Range depends heavily on configuration. Tesla currently lists up to 325 miles of estimated range for its long-range version under the stated conditions, and Tesla has also published a higher estimated figure with the specific wheel and tonneau cover setup. But remember, range is never one fixed number. Speed, weather, temperature, tires, cargo, and towing can all change the result. Tesla currently quotes a 0 to 60 time of just 2.6 seconds for the Cyberbeast. Think about that. A full-size electric pickup with supercar-level acceleration. That's one of the reasons the Cybertruck feels less like a traditional truck and more like an entirely new category. Tesla currently lists a 130 mile/hour top speed for the Cyberbeast. Do you need that much speed in a pickup? Probably not, but that's not really the point. Tesla wanted the Cybertruck to prove that a truck could be practical and ridiculously fast. And this is one of the Cybertruck's most useful tricks. It can provide power. Tesla integrates 120-volt and 240-volt outlets into the truck, so you can run tools, equipment, and other devices directly from the Cybertruck. And Tesla takes that concept even further. With the right equipment, the Cybertruck can provide backup power to a home. Tesla currently states up to 11.5 kilowatts of power can be supplied directly to a home during an outage. So suddenly, your truck becomes more than transportation. It becomes a battery on wheels. But the Cybertruck isn't designed to stay on pavement. With adaptive air suspension, available all-terrain tires, and substantial ground clearance, Tesla has given it real off-road hardware. So despite its futuristic appearance, now, remember the question I asked you at the beginning? The one thing that could make you think twice about owning a Cybertruck. Here it is. The Cybertruck is enormous. almost 224 inches long, and roughly 95 inches wide with the mirrors extended. That size gives it presence, but it can also make everyday life more difficult. This is still supposed to be a truck. Now, remember the question I asked you at the beginning? The one thing that could make you think twice about owning a Cybertruck. Here it is. The Cybertruck is enormous, almost 224 inches long, and roughly 95 inches wide with the mirrors extended. That size gives it presence, but it can also make everyday life more difficult. Think about narrow parking garages, older residential garages, tight downtown spaces, narrow streets. Rear-wheel steering definitely helps, but it doesn't change the fact that this is a very large truck. And for some American drivers, that could be the biggest compromise of all. So where does that leave us? The Cybertruck isn't perfect. It's huge. It's unconventional. Towing can dramatically reduce range, and its design is definitely not for everyone. But at the same time, it combines things that almost no other pickup combines in the same package: design, performance, technology, and real utility. So, is the Cybertruck the future of pickup trucks? Maybe not the future of every pickup truck, but it absolutely represents one possible future. A truck that can tow, a truck that can haul, a truck that can accelerate like a sports car, a truck that can power your equipment, a truck that can even help power your home, and a truck that looks like almost nothing else on American roads. That's what makes the Cybertruck so fascinating. It doesn't try to fit into the pickup truck world. It tries to change it. So, would you actually buy the Cybertruck? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, subscribe to American Auto Vault, because we don't just show you the newest cars, we break them down, from Tesla to Ford, BMW, Mercedes, Porsche, Ferrari, Lamborghini, and everything coming next. This is American Auto Vault, and I'll see you in the next one.